Om Sai Ram, Jai Gurudeva Datta, Swami Ayyappa. We have a special Ayyappa Padipuja at our center tomorrow, 11th of December 2025. So some context and a story about Swami Ayyappa. There are many interesting facts and stories about Swami. As part of today's conversation, I would like to share about Swami's birth, Swami's birth itself. So, like Lord Sri Ram, Swami Ayyappa had come down to this earth for a purpose. So, he's born for a specific purpose. So, we can say, एक विशिष्ट उद्देश्यपूर्वक janam, right? For a specific purpose. So, what is that purpose? So, there was a demoness called Mahishi. Now, who is Mahishi? So, she is the sister of demon Mahishasura. After Mahishasura was killed by Ma Durga, that's why we call Ma as Mahishasura Mardini. Mahishi wanted to take revenge as the sister of Mahishasura. Mahishi wanted to take revenge on the gods. So she did a severe tapas, penance to get a boon from Brahmadev. So Mahishasura kollapatta pirukku Mahishi kadmiyana oru thavam seidar. So impressed by Mahishi's penance, Lord Brahmadev appears before her and he asks her, I'm really impressed, with your severe penance, and what is that you want? And Mahishi says, she was exactly waiting for that, and she says, Brahmadev, please make me immortal. Give me the boon of immortality. So Brahmadev smiles and he says, that's not possible. That's impossible. He says, everything that's born and everything that comes down to earth will need to have an end. Right? So I cannot give you the boon of immortality. Then Mahishi makes the second request. She says, Brahmadev, then only a child of Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva should be able to kill me. Right? Intelligently, in her own thinking, she was thinking she was intelligent. She was thinking that's not possible. And Brahmadev did not have a choice, so he granted the boon. So Mahishi thought this boon had made her invincible. Right? Because in her mind, Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva could never produce a child, and so there would never be anyone who would be able to kill her. That's her thought process. If we take a step back and recollect, her brother Mahishasura, he had made a similar mistake, right? When he did penance, and when he had asked for immortality, and when Brahmadev refused, he, thinking he was intelligent, he was smart, he then said, death can only happen to him at the hands of a woman, right? Because he thought a woman would never be able to kill him because he's so strong, a woman can never kill him, right? That's what he thought, and we know what happened, right? Ma Durga had killed him. So that's why it is always, our prayers to God should always be from heart. It should never be from our intelligence and our smartness. That should, it just doesn't match, right? So bhakti is from the heart, right? Like it is like we are using our intelligence in front of the one who gave us intelligence. So it doesn't really match. It doesn't really work that way. So the bhakti, the prayer should always be from our heart. So Mahishi was happy. She was given that boon. Only a child of Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva can kill her. So she thought, I'm invincible. That will never happen. So losing no time, she rushed off to Devaloka. Her focus was on obviously, taking the revenge of her brother's death. So she tortured, troubled all the devas. She started destroying Devaloka, right? Now for devas, killing her was impossible because she was given that boon by Lord Brahmadev, so nobody was able to do anything. So they all, went to Lord Sriman Narayan and they begged for his help. So Lord Narayan, he was moved by the plight of Devas. Lord Vishnu, he is the preserver, he is the Stitikaraka, which means he needs to preserve the dharma, of this universe. He needs to, he is the maintainer, right? So he wanted, he need to come up. He need to come up with a plan. He is the ultimate strategist, right? So to help the situation to bring back the dharma, he transformed himself to Mohini. Okay, so Mohini as a avatar, as a avataram, she was really beautiful, really enchanting beauty. We can discuss about that part of the story on a different occasion. But for now, let's consider that Lord Vishnu transformed, Lord Narayana transformed himself to Mohini. She was really beautiful, enchanting. So the union, that's where the union of Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu gave this universe the Ayyappa Swami, right? Swami Sharanam Ayyappa. So this is all because of the ultimate strategy of Lord Sriman Narayan to help the Devas, to help the Devaloka, to preserve the Dharma, to protect them from the torture of this Maheshi, right? So he came up with that strategy. He came up with that avatar of Mohini, and there was that union of Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu in the avatar of Mohini, and that gave this universe, Lord Ayyappa Swami. That's why Lord Ayyappa is called as, Harihara Sutta, Harihara Putra, right? So if we see, Lord's 108 names, one of the names is, we say Harihara Sutane Sharanamayappa or Harihara Putrane Sharanamayappa. So that's how he got that name. So as we said at the start, Swami was born for a specific purpose, and we now know that purpose. That is to kill demoness Maheshi, right? Now this was all there. Swami, is born. It was decided that Lord Ayyappa would be placed in the care of King Rajashekara. Now, who is King Rajashekara? King Rajashekara was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva. He was the king for the Pandala or Pandalam kingdom. Maharani Kokila was King Rajashekara's wife, so she was Maharani Kokila. One day, King Rajashekara was hunting in a forest on the banks of river Pampa. We know Pampa river on the way to Shabarimala, right? So he was on the banks of river Pampa hunting in the forest. So he took a small break and he sat under a tree beside this river Pampa. That's when he heard the cry of an infant, right? So he cried he heard the cry of an infant, who is none other than Swami Ayyappa, right? So considering, so as king, he had wealth, name, fame, everything. But for him and Maharani Kokila, they did not have children, so they were childless, in at that time. So in his heart, when he heard the cry of that infant, when he saw that infant, he really, wanted to take him back to the palace, right? But abiding by dharma, he started searching for his parents, thinking there were his parents around, to ensure, to hand the child back, the infant back to them. And suddenly there is this holy sage who appears from nowhere and he says, take this child, right? He's been sent, to take away the suffering of you and your dynasty, right? You need this child. When this child is 12 years, you will become aware of his divinity. It is because of your unshakable faith in Lord Shiva, Lord, this child is being left in your care. That's what the holy sage says. At that time, when the sage handed over the, Ayyappa, Swami Ayyappa to the king, Rajashekara, there was a golden chain around his neck, and hence the sage suggests to name him Manikandan, right? The one with the golden neck. That's how Swami Ayyappa gets the name Manikandan, the one with the golden neck. The king obviously was overjoyed. You can imagine, he has everything in life, other than a child. Now this is a male child. He just, rushes back to the palace as fast as he can. He holds the infant as close as possible, protecting the child, protecting the infant. And then he rushes back to the queen, Maharani Kokila, and he informs her of the unexpected good luck they have, right? So the king, queen, and all the people of the kingdom were really, really, really jubilant, right? So I will pause there. We will continue the story, in our weekly center, Sai Ayyappa Darbar, tomorrow, if time permits, All our reading Swamis who are in Diksha are going to be there for the Padi Puja tomorrow. Raghu Swami, who has been taking Diksha for about 15 years now, he's going to be there. Rest of the reading Swamis, Rajesh Swami, Jagan Swami, Surinder Swami, and our own Swamis, Shrikant and Surya Swami, they're all going to be there. These Swamis, who take Diksha for a mandalam, they go through, rigorous austerity, rigorous sacrifices, they maintain a spiritual discipline for this mandalam, 41 days. And the belief is that Swami Ayyappa himself reside in them, because during the Diksha, they are in the state of Tattvamasi, right? Their soul is united with Brahman, their soul is united with Ayyappa Swami. So, please do utilize the opportunity, come in with family and friends, be part of, all our artis. We are starting artis at 6:45 p.m. Be part of the Padi Puja and the bhajans, right? So, we are looking forward to see you there tomorrow, which is 11th of December. So, thank you. Swami Sharanam Ayyappa, Om Sai Ram, Jai Gurudeva Datta. Thank you.